Hi, I'm Cindy Costales, Senior Librarian at the Monterey Park Rugamar Library. I'm with Dan DeAndrea, our January Artist of the Month, and we're talking about his exhibit called Images of Interest. Dan, tell us about how you started out as a photographer.
Well, when I was really young, my mom bought me a Yogi Bear camera, and I was really excited about that. But then I got even more excited waiting for the pictures to come back. So I've always had a creative drive. And then later on, I saw some images by Ansel Adams, and that kind of pushed me along. I thought, man, that's really beautiful, you know, the way he composes. He's a master at composing. Anybody who wants to get into photography should look at the images of Ansel Adams. Then later on, I saw some paintings by Maxfield Parrish, a 1930s painter, and what he did with color and composition. That kind of finished what I started when I was looking at the Ansel Adams, and that kind of made up the makeup of my technique and inspiration. So then, when I got a little older, I started teaching photography. And then I did some work for Flying Tigers, did some work for them, and did some work for Federal Express. But mostly I was teaching photography. And I would like to, I know there's a big interest in photography because everybody's taking pictures now. Their cell phones have got cameras on them. You know, you're watching something on the news, and in the background someone's photographing. So I know there's a big interest in it, and I know there's a lot of people who probably want to get into photography. And right now is a fantastic time to get into photography, film photography. Film photography, either you can still get film. A lot of photographers, I know quite a few professional photographers, and a lot of photographers prefer the look from film. The two major camera manufacturers still make film cameras, but right now you can buy film cameras on the internet for really cheaply. Cameras that used to cost $800 to $1,000, you can buy them for like $80, $100.
What kind of camera did you use to take these beautiful photographs?
This was taken with an Nikon F3. It's a manual. It's basically a manual camera. That's part of photography, is taking control of the camera, not having the camera control you. But that's all the part of photography. These were taken mostly in the 90s.
You have some very interesting locations that you took your photographs, and also you were inspired by music. I wonder if you can tell us or share a few stories about the locations where you shot these photos, and also about the music. We've had some library patrons who have been very interested in the music part of your inspiration for your photographs, especially that we've had a lot of comments about the photograph that you have with the plane and the clouds and the music that was inspired by that. So if you can share a little bit about that, I think people would like to hear about it.
Well, music certainly is a part of my creative process. I found that it helps your creative flow. Music's very inspiring, and when you go to a scene like this, it's very inspiring. And what I would do is I would set up and compose a photograph first, and then I would listen to music, and then it would kind of help me maybe expand or enhance the mood that I'm trying to get across, and then I would go ahead and take the image. But most of this one here was taken in Kings Canyon National Park. Mm-hmm. This one was also taken in Kings Canyon National Park, and that one there took about 2 years to get because of their location. The lighting was only good on an overcast day, so I had to wait a couple years to get them. Ironically, after I took this photograph, I was walking away from that scene and I saw this scene. Oh. So this is kind of rare when you walk up and you find one just waiting for you, you know. So I was fortunate to get that.
Can you tell us something about the lighting with this picture? I think that's just beautiful.
This one here, the lighting was, the latitude was very, very narrow. The lighting in that particular photograph was only that way for about 8 minutes because this photograph was taken in between two canyons. The wall, the rocks in the background go up about 700 feet. And then right behind me is another wall that goes up about 700 feet. So it's just a real narrow little alleyway of light, and it only happens when the sun's going down and there's only about maybe 8 minutes of light left. You get that front lit with the back lit background.
And where was that taken?
That's Kings Canyon. It's called Knapp's Canyon in Kings Canyon National Park.
Well, that's what we like about photographers is that you have a lot of patience, and then you bring us these beautiful pictures. What can you tell us about? Now, I know that some of them also are done locally, that you do have some pictures that are locally in Los Angeles and in Long Beach.
Yeah, this is Rainbow Harbor in Long Beach. This one I had to wait a little while for, too. In photography, you have to, there's a recipe for photography. If you follow it, you will always get the same results. It's like when you bake a cake or make something in the kitchen, there's a recipe. If you follow it, hopefully it'll come out. But photography is the same way. And this one here, I had to wait for after it had rained, okay, and when it got later on in the afternoon when the sun was going down, so I can brighten up that blue background. No filters. A lot of people will slap a filter on there, a polarizer. I'm kind of a naturalist, okay? Don't need a polarizer if you wait for the right conditions. And that's all part of the recipe of photography. So this one's Rainbow Harbor, and I know the captain of this ship.
Oh, that's great. Well, I noticed there seems to be some themes going on. You've got water with the waterfalls. You have clouds. And ships. Is there? Can you tell us about why those things inspire you?
Well, I've always loved nature, and I love weather. I really like weather, and I like structures. I studied aviation for a couple years, so I like things that deal with structure, like big ships and how airplanes work and fly. And so this particular one here. This was after Hurricane Andrew. I was in Florida, and those are actually remnants left over from Hurricane Andrew. And I was able to compose them. There was a little hole there, and I was able to compose them. And compositionally, I was fortunate because the pilot was a little off-center, a little off to the right. So compositionally, it was a good time to take it. But after that plane flew over, I had to grab my camera and duck because there's always like a 60-mile-an-hour wind that the plane goes over like that.
That's an amazing image that you've produced there. And we've had several library customers talk to us about that one. So they are very inspired by that one. Now, also with the music. Now, tell us about your connection with music and your photographs.
Well, the music's definitely helped me with the photographs. And I have everyone has their favorite music, but I kind of married the two. And it's been a good marriage, and it helps me because music moves people, and that's what a photograph should do. It should move you. So if you have a photograph that's assisted by music, hopefully it'll move you better. Also, when you look at the photograph, you can discover new music. That's why I put the music with the photograph. I made it available so people could discover new music because there's a lot of music that maybe people have never heard. But yeah, I've always been a music lover, and I like sharing that. So that's why I included it in the exhibit.
What can you tell us about the ships that you have? They look very beautiful and elegant.
Yeah, this one here, the QE2, the Queen Elizabeth. She's retired now. But she would come, she was the last of the transatlantic liners. She'd come every January, and it was really exciting just to be there because of the fame tied to the ship. So I would try to photograph it and sometimes it wouldn't work out if it was overcast. So after about 5 attempts, I was able to get this one. So this is like 6 years old, or 6 years in the making, but I was able to get it. And just one visit after this one, it was all finished. It was no more. It got retired. Now the Queen Mary, the new Queen Mary, has replaced it.
And you have a wonderful blend of color and light with this airport scene. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I used to work at the Department of Airports, and they asked me, the Delta Terminal had just been finished, they had a new Delta Terminal, and they wanted a photograph of it, and they wanted a night photograph of it. So I took this one and submitted it to them. They didn't use this one because composition, they liked it, but compositionally they wanted something a little different. But that's how I ended up getting that one. Plus, I always liked the effect of the red lights, slow shutter speed.
Well, Dan Deandra's images of interest will be on display at the library through the month of January. And if people want to contact him and ask him questions, we will have some contact information. Right, Dan?
Yeah. I'd like to reach people who want to get into photography because you can buy cameras really cheaply now. And if they have any questions about film or cameras or equipment, they can call me. If you would like to know more about where to get the film developed, you can give me a call. Developing the film at a camera shop was what I would suggest you do. And there's still a lot of really good camera shops. There's one in Whittier, Monty's Camera Shop. It's a fantastic camera shop. Everybody there, very helpful and knowledgeable. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions about anything you have about photography. But go ahead and contact me if you have any questions about it. I'd be more happy to help you. I brought these 2 other pictures. Thank you for reminding me. I brought these 2 other pictures because I just wanted to show you what you could do. Now, these 2 photographs were taken with a 36-year-old camera that I bought on the internet for $70. So it just shows you that all these wonderful cameras that they made in the 70s and 80s and 90s are available, and you can get them real cheaply, and it's easy to get them. And the film costed like $3. So I just wanted to show those so that you can see what you can do with one of these cameras you can buy on the internet.
Well, we also want to thank the Friends of the Library and the Monterey Park Art and Culture Commission for their help every month with our Artist of the Month program. And we want to thank you, Dan. It's been wonderful visiting with you, and we're very happy and pleased to have your exhibit throughout the month of January. We want to encourage everyone to come down and take a look at images of interest and also to see the connection between the music that inspired Dan also with this wonderful photographs. So thank you, Dan.
Okay, thank you. Try to listen to the music while you're looking at the photograph.